Hi, my name is Monica Mendoza and I'm president of Troop 7186, and today I'm happy to welcome our Burbank Mayor Dave Golonski to our troop meeting.
Mayor Golonski, do you think there is a connection between teenage violence and bullying?
Do I think there's a connection between teenage violence and bullying? Certainly, I think so. What do you guys think?
Definitely. Yes.
You see that connection happen sometimes at your schools?
Yeah.
How can we prevent teenage violence and prevent bullying? You know, I think one of the best ways is if everyone really makes a commitment to stand up and say something about it when they see it happening. Because it's my experience, and from what I've read, it usually starts out kind of small and maybe not such a big deal, and then it gets worse, and then it gets worse, and it grows. And if everybody, when it starts, stands up and says something about it and really works together, I think we can help prevent it. Maybe not get rid of it completely, but we can certainly change the way people think about it. But you know, when I was your age and in middle school, I can tell you that I was probably less inclined to speak up and didn't realize what the impacts were. So I'm learning right along with everybody else.
Why do you think people bully each other?
I don't know. Why do you think people bully each other?
Maybe people bully each other because they're jealous of each other, or
Maybe jealous? What do you guys think?
They're being bullied. They could be being bullied themselves or going through problems at their house or with friends.
They have a low self-esteem, and when they make somebody feel lower than themselves, they think they feel better.
Sometimes people do it not realizing what impact it has on the people that they're bullying. They don't stop and think about it. Sometimes, you know, maybe it's a group or something like that. Sometimes it is misery loves company. I think there's a whole host of reasons, but I think especially when we're talking about kids, sometimes it's just that they don't stop and think about it, and maybe they feel bad about it and feel guilty about it later on. But part of I think all of our job in preventing it is make it so it's just not acceptable, period, and that you don't have to think about whether it's okay or not, that it's not okay, and that people are aware that it can really, really hurt that other person.
In your opinion, do you think that most adults think bullying is a phase all kids go through, either being a bully or being bullied?
I think for too long has been looked at as maybe harmless, or kids will be kids and they'll grow out of it. And it's really not harmless. It's something that I think we have to take seriously.
Why do you think teens are going to such extremes like killing themselves over being bullied? Is it that they are not being heard by the people they are telling, or do you think that people they are telling don't know how to handle the situation?
Well, you know, I think it's both. You know, I don't know the answer why, you know, people are going to the extreme of taking their own lives, but it should be a wake-up call to all of us how impactful it is on them. It's too bad that sometimes it has to come to that for people to realize what the impacts are, but you know, I agree with you that there's a whole host of things. You know, sometimes you all face challenges. Sometimes you're down. Some people are maybe new to the school and moved, left their friends back somewhere else. So sometimes there's a lot of other things going on too, and the bullying really just kind of adds to that. And sometimes we're so busy with our lives we don't recognize the challenges that everybody faces.
How do you think our community can create more awareness about this topic?
Well, you know, I think just by having this conversation today, you create more awareness. You made me think about this. This is something that's been on my, you know, on my radar for a long time. But by inviting me here and just having this discussion is going to make me more aware of it and probably say more about it to the different people.
Mr. Mayor, what do you think the punishment should be for bullying? Do you think parents should be involved in this?
What's the punishment for bullying? I guess it depends on how severe it is and how long I think it's really important that everybody is aware of it and takes steps to prevent it and stop it. I don't know that there's one punishment that fits everything, and I absolutely think the parents should be involved, and the parents should be involved in preventing it, probably more important.
Have you seen bullying?
Have I seen bullying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, bullying isn't something that just happens in middle schools or with kids. It happens with adults too. And unfortunately, I've seen some of it, some members of the public bullying some people who work for the city. And it's really personal attacks, and it's really too bad because they're really setting a bad example for everybody.
Do you know how many kids and teens have killed themselves and others because of bullying?
I don't know, but I know it's way too many. And one is too many. I know it's not. Sometimes we focus in on when there's a suicide and it kind of wakes everybody up, but it's too bad that it has to get to that point.
Have you ever helped someone who has been bullied? If so, what have you done?
Have I ever helped people? I'm trying to do that right now, and I'll tell you, it's not kid bullying, it's adult bullying. We have a new employee who's only been with us about a year, and some people are writing some really nasty personal attacks about her on a blog. And she's kind of short, and they're calling her a runt and making fun of her hair. And what I'm doing, I've told the person I know who writes these, and I've told him that what I think of him and what I think of his doing that. But I'm also going around and telling everybody that I meet with, and I meet with a lot of people, that this is happening and it's not okay. And it may not be something that we can stop, but, and people ask me, well, what can I do? And I tell them, you know what I'd like you to do? One, I'd like you to let it be known that this is happening, but maybe more importantly, you pick up the phone and you call this person who's being subjected to this, and you tell them, you know what, this community doesn't believe this right, I don't believe this is right, and I'm supportive of you. And that's half the battle, perhaps, is that, when you're the victim of bullying, you feel alone. And if there are people there that say, you know what, this is not okay, I'm going to support you.
Do you ever feel bullied by those who help you get elected?
Do I ever feel bullied by those who help me get elected? No, I don't think so. But one of the things about being a politician is that you're going to get a lot of criticism. And one of the things that's important to learn, too, is that there's a difference between bullying and criticism. And criticism can be okay. If I do something wrong or someone disagrees with me, they can tell me that, and that's okay. And they should tell me that.
Do you have any children? If so, have they ever been bullied?
Yes, and yes. I have 3 children. So I have a daughter and a son, and we also have a 22-year-old special needs son. And you know what? All of them face some kind of bullying. I think every person faces some kind of bullying.
What are the schools in Burbank and surrounding areas doing to help fight the youth on youth aggression?
What are the schools doing to help fight youth on youth aggression? Well, you guys are in the schools, and a little conversation we had earlier, you were telling me about the principal at Muir was having an assembly, bringing in assemblies and speakers and raising awareness. I don't know what's going on at Immaculate Heart.
We have assemblies every once in a while for people to tell us what's wrong with bullying and how to solve it and to stop it.
And after those assemblies, do you guys talk about what role you could play in stopping it and helping to prevent it?
Our teacher discusses it with us.
Okay. And what about St. Finbar?
At our school, we also have assemblies, and they'll give us bookmarks or erasers or something with tips to stop bullying. Just
to raise awareness, remind you of that. What about Jordan and Luther?
Jordan, we have our assistant principal, Mr. Tarka. He has a Stop It campaign, which is going to all the elementary schools.
Very good.
Yeah.
We understand you are involved with the Ophelia Project. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
You know, the Ophelia Project I'm part of the youth task force in Burbank that brought Challenge Day and Peace Builders. And the Ophelia Project was a project that we were hoping to bring to Muir, and it didn't work out. But it really was a project that focused really on girl bullying. And for a long time, I think the bullying was kind of the focus, at least of adults. They looked at it as bullying was kind of a boy thing. And they didn't realize the severity of sometimes the girls bullying other girls. And I think we're all a little more aware nowadays and realize that that can be really pretty severe. And you guys are role models. You have younger sisters or brothers. You can talk to them about it. You can talk to the elementary kids. So as long as everybody's talking about it, I think that's the progress that we're looking for. The other thing that I think is really important is that the schools are taking it much more seriously. Because we could tell you till we're blue in the face that when you see it, report it. But if you report it and nothing happens, and then you report it again and nothing happens, sometimes people will stop reporting it. And I don't think I think the schools are going to take it more seriously. I think they're raising the awareness. They've had a training with all of their teachers. And I think as they hear from you, they'll take it more seriously as well.
Is there anything that you could do in Burbank that could contribute to the stopping of bullying?
Is there anything that I can do? I could come out and talk to you guys about it. But I can't stop it, and I can't prevent it by myself. I need people like you, and that's why I'm so glad that you guys have taken this issue up and are talking about it, and not just amongst yourselves. I assume you're talking about it with your friends and your parents. So there's a lot we can do, but it's really going to take the whole community deciding that it's not okay. And once the community decides it's not okay, I think you'll see some big changes.